Welcome to another unboxing video from theplayersaid.com. My name's Alexander, and today we're taking a look at a brand new game from 2019. This is Brave Little Belgium, designed by Ryan Heilman and Dave Shaw. This game is put out by Hollandspiele, and I think this is game number 39 of theirs. They kind of number them all. It's a World War I game depicting the brief, but nonetheless brave campaign by the Belgian fighters against kind of the German Schlieffen Plan. Obviously the Germans kind of walked in, and history says they walked right through Belgium basically into northwest France, or northeast France. But this kind of shed some light on what actually happened there, the resistance that was put up, and the brave fighters that lost their lives in Belgium. So always like a game that shows a little bit, or highlights something different about a very well-known and heavily gamed campaign, which is World War I West Front. Now, this one, it's a little 1-inch box. You can see big yellow with red on it, blue edges. I think this is a really cool looking box. It's a nice small one. Hollandspiele put out these little kind of tight, compact games. Things like Supply Lines of the American Revolution and the Scheld campaign. They come in these small boxes, but there's a good amount of game in them, even though they're not necessarily like these big, huge, sprawling boxes with a ton of stuff in them. You always get good quality from them. So we'll kind of open it up, take a little look. And, okay, the first thing you're going to notice when you get this, when you open it, it has a smell. It has a chemical smell from the printing process of both the map and the counters. So just prepare yourself for that. It does go away over time. We've had a few of their other games. It doesn't last long. You just want to... Okay. Let's see. It's kind of a dice chucker. They include a lot of dice. And a game that includes a lot of dice, I appreciate that. A game that needs dice and they only include like 2, and you have to roll them multiple times, that's just cheap to me. So I like that it's a lot of dice and those are good quality ones. Rulebook. A game that's 60 minutes should have a short rulebook, and this one is at best 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pages. Appreciate that. I was lucky enough to learn this at WBC with Grant. We actually sat down with the designers, Ryan and Dave, and they taught us this game, and it was very quick to learn and very quick to start playing as well. This is a really short rulebook. It's not complex. I think this has like a red on the side. They said it's medium weight, and I would say this is medium weight for a board game. But for us war gamers, this is a lightweight game. This is easy to learn. You're not going to be scratching your head trying to get your mind around the rules. It's a very quick game to learn, which again I really like. This is the single counter sheet. This is it. You have some turn end markers, and you have formations of different colors. All the different sides. You have the leaders. This is a chit draw game, which is why it's excellent for solitaire play. You'll have a little kind of a chit cup, and it's going to have, for example, these German leaders in it, and you can see the colors, red, pink, purple, orange, correspond with the different formations here that you've got. But there's also a couple of these special kind of events or technologies and icons. So you've got Zeppelins, Big Bertha, Forced March, but then you've got some Belgian ones, Sabotage German Movement, you kind of Forced March, so you can help get some French and British units in there to help. These have a die roll on them, and so it's more about their combat strength isn't necessarily known, and it's what you're rolling when you need to hit, what that's going to end up looking like. And then there's some turn end markers. There's 3 of them. There's 3 of them in the chit cup, and you just need to pull a certain number of them, and then that triggers kind of the end of a turn. But that's it. These are on a thick board. Again, these have a... It's not a paper this is, I'm gonna just scratch this so you can hear it. It's kind of, it has like a texture, and it might be paper on there, but it feels like it's got a lacquer on it, almost like it's kind of a tough plastic. Like they make a noise that isn't just cardboard. So these have good robustness to it. They punch very easily, and because they have that kind of special printing that they do, look at these. These are like very clear. These are crisp counters to printing. So appreciate that. It's a good looking game on the board. The board is a map, which is a very heavy paper. I think this is much heavier than this, and I would say that it's card stock. But it's a heavy paper board. Brave little Belgium. Down here you've got your little turn track on your airmail envelope for some flavor there. This is the setup of the Garde Civique, which I believe is like it's like the National Guard, the garrisons in the various Belgian cities. So we have all those Garde Civique units here, and you don't know what they are. So you place them with these down, but you roll to see where you even put these. And it's great fun. You kind of set them up, and you kind of don't know what you've got. Some of them are strong, some of them are pathetic. Something you don't see a lot. So you have the little battle board. This is where you organize your troops. This is because sometimes you do get kind of stacks of 4 and 5 against 4 and 5. Kind of set them up, roll off, and do all your fighting there. This is not something that you often see in a war game. This is an atrocities track. And it's possible for the Germans to conduct atrocities. There are times where they might need to for the sake of brevity, because the point of this game is for the Germans to get in and out of Belgium as quick as possible. Sometimes to do that, you got to do unspeakable things to the population and to the people who surrender. And that's what happened in real life. And the more atrocities you cause, it hurts them in the long run. I think it's easier to bring in allies, and it might cost them VPs in the end. Maybe. That lends a little bit of kind of a weight to this game, because it is a very fun and enjoyable war game to play. But things like that kind of ground it in some history and a little bit of reality. It's not a lot where you're like getting bogged down in it, but it keeps it a reminder that this really happened and people suffered as a result of this campaign. So, point-to-point movement game. There's different points that you can see. These are kind of normal movement. These ones that are all crisscrossed, it's that represents terrain. It's harder to go through those. So you got, here's Bastogne, right? So this is kind of the Ardennes forest. It's really hard to go through these places, and you kind of have to stop if you go through them. Whereas normally you can move through a couple places. Got a couple of different fortresses here, and there's a lot of stuff that goes into those. You want to defend where you can defend. It can seem a one-sided affair because the Germans will very early on do a big push, and then towards the end of the game, you're trying to bring in the French and really activate them, and there's a few British pieces as well. But the reality is it's a tough slog, but it's more than just being a road bump, a speed bump for the Germans. There is some good strategy to this, trying to kind of feint and bluff where you can and force the Germans to do things which are kind of inopportune, things which are inefficient, and that can really hurt them and lose them the game. So it's a cool game. It is a war game. You're trying to do some fights here and there, but part of it feels like a race. It's a race against time where the Germans can't get too bogged down in certain sieges of fortresses. A lot of time you try to rush across and get through into France within a certain time period here. And if they don't make it in time, they just lose the game. So this is a really neat one. A great looking map. Again, easy to pick up, easy to learn. Hollandspiele do a great job with their rules, and their production's very good in this one. So excited to play this one again and play with the final components and let you guys know what we really think of this one. So appreciate you guys tuning in. This has been Brave Little Belgium. Again, what a cool box from Hollandspiele. And I've been Alexander from theplayersaid.com. Thanks for tuning in.